Hi everyone, Helen here. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first visit here, welcome. If you are returning, thank you very much for practicing with me again today. Today's class will be a class for all over body mobility. When we have freedom in our body, we really have freedom in our mind. And when we have freedom in our mind, we have freedom in our lives. So start in a comfortable seat. I'm sitting with my hips on a blanket. It really helps to elevate them higher than the knees because this enables the back to remain straight and you don't fidget and you're not using all your energy to try and keep upright. So just start to settle here. Fold your legs in any way that feels comfortable for you. Place the hands face down on the knees, straighten the spine, relax the shoulders, chin is parallel to the floor, close the windows of the eyes. Just start to center in on your breath. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Just letting go of anything that might be on your mind. This is your time now for you on your mat. Deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. And now just start to develop a regular breathing pattern through the nose. Not forcing in any way, just with the natural rhythms of your body. Just allowing the nervous system to quieten. Relaxing every muscle that you don't need to be tensed, particularly around the jaw. Notice your tongue, is it pressed into the roof of the mouth? If so, just allow it to relax in your mouth. Face is relaxed. And just enjoy this moment here of serenity. We have such busy lives now, running around everywhere, even in lockdown. There's always something to do. And it's easy to forget about yourself, particularly if you have caring responsibilities for other people, for pets, for anyone. We have a tendency to always put ourselves last, particularly if we're empaths. So it's really important to find time for yourself just to recharge and reset. You know, I'm guilty of this myself. But allowing time on your mat in quiet, when there's no external influences to distract you, even if you can only squeeze in 5 minutes, it does such wonders for your soul. And bring the palms to the heart center. Fingertips pressing into fingertips, thumbs into the sternum. Just take a moment to set an intention for your practice. Maybe you want to dedicate it to somebody who's important to you in life. Maybe someone that may be going through a hard time right now. And they would be grateful to receive all of the wonderful positive drops of energy that you will generate today in class. Take a deep inhale, deep exhale, and slowly flutter the eyes open. So if you're sitting on a block or a bolster or blanket, just take it off to one side. And we'll come into tabletop. So hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. The toes can be tucked or you can release the tops of the feet to the floor. Spine is neutral and the core is engaged. And we'll move through some cat-cow just to wake up the spine. So on an inhale, belly dips, chest lifts. Exhale, round the spine, tuck in the head, tuck in the pelvis. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And then return to a neutral spine. Plant the left hand directly underneath the left shoulder. Knees are still under the hips. Inhale, right arm up to the sky. And exhale, thread the needle. Right shoulder comes down, right ear comes down, and the left hand extends in front. So twist is coming from the mid back here. Breathe into it, maybe putting a little bit of weight on that shoulder, stretching out the shoulder here as well. So many of these poses benefit multiple parts of the body at the same time. Deep breathing. Then plant the left hand back under the shoulder. Inhale, right arm up to the sky, coming out the way you went in. Hand comes down. Side B. Plant the right hand under right shoulder. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, left hand or arm threads underneath. Left cheek to the floor, left shoulder. Right arm extends in front. Breathe here. Maybe putting a little bit of weight into that shoulder, feeling the stretch. It's really good to stretch out the upper body, particularly as we spend so much time now on our devices, in front of computers. Then plant the right hand back where it came from. Inhale, left arm back up. Exhale, left hand comes down. Plant the hands directly underneath the shoulders. Extend right leg back. So keeping it in line with the hip. This core is engaged. Really hold this belly in. Foot is flexed. And then exhale. Step it over to the left side of the mat. Look over the left shoulder for this lateral stretch. This really gets into the side body here. Curving the spine to the side. Deep breaths. Should be feeling it in the outer hip as well. And inhale, center. Return. Left leg extends behind. That core is engaged. Foot is flexed. And exhale. Comes over to this right side of the mat, looking over the right shoulder, deep breaths, feeling it all in the left side body. Mindful movement, no rush. Then inhale back to center and exhale, knee comes down. Walk the hands forward towards the front of the mat or come into puppy pose or Anahata Asana, heart melting pose. Keeping the hips where they are. Just bring the forehead down, maybe to the floor. Really widen the upper back here, grounding into the hands. Widen in the collarbones, keeping that core engaged. Feeling the stretch in the upper body. Maybe you can dip your chest down. Maybe the chin comes to the floor. This is quite an advanced opening here of the upper back, so if it's not available to you, no worries. Then inhale, come back up. Move the hands about one handprint in front of the shoulders. Tuck the toes and we'll move into downward facing dog. So hips come up to the sky, hands are around shoulder width apart, those triceps tucked under, upper back is wide, feet around hip width apart. Bend the knees initially, sit bones to the sky, Lengthening the spine, biceps or ears between the biceps, and then just start to pedal out the feet, waking up the backs of the legs. Our hamstrings get so tight throughout the day, especially if we're just sitting around. It's good to get some energy and movement here. And then maybe settle and descend the heels towards the earth. They never have to touch. Sit bones to the sky, belly's tucked in, upper back is wide. Breathe here, so feeling it maybe in the calves. Long breaths. Then on an inhale, right leg lifts up to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps up between the hands. And if you can't get it in one fell swoop, you can always move it manually. Plant the hands, lengthen the spine, hips are neutral. And just stay here for this runner's lunge. So really start to think about elongating the spine, lifting the chest, scissoring the thighs, grounding into this front foot. Core is engaged, shoulders are relaxed. You should feel a stretch all down the front left side of the leg in the hip flexor. And then release the knee down. If you need to pad the knee, you can put something underneath it or even roll the mat up a couple of times. And on an inhale, we'll come up to this low lunge. So scissoring the thighs, pulling this right hip back, left hip forward. Front knees over the front ankle. You can interlace the fingers here. Slightly tuck the pelvis under. And this gets a bit deeper into this left hip flexor. And then descend. On this squeaky floorboard. Enjoying this stretch. Bring the left hand underneath the left shoulder. Maybe lift up this back foot. Inhale the right arm open. See if you can grab it. So sometimes if you move the hips back, it gets within your reach. And then you can descend forward. If it isn't within your reach, just visualize you have hold of it. And breathe here. Opening the chest and the shoulder, opening that left hip flexor. And then release down, hands plant, tuck the back toes, step back, downward facing dog. Breathe here. And inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left foot steps up. Keeping this back knee lifted initially. Core is engaged. Hands underneath the shoulders. Left hip's pulling back, right hip coming forward. Upper back is wide, chest lifted. Breathe here. You can always come up on the fingertips if that feels better, or even on the fists like this. And of course, always you can use blocks to bring the floor closer to you. Using props makes us stronger in the long run. And then bring this back knee down. Engage the core. We'll come up into this low lunge. So initially tuck the pelvis and you really feel it deeper here. And when you get this position, then you can descend. Nice long breaths. Enjoying opening the front body. This is a really good stretch to do every day, particularly if you're at a computer or driving around all the time. We're always crunching forward. Everything we do is anterior. We very rarely stretch the body, the front body. So it's really good to do it to balance everything out. And then plant the right hand under the right shoulder. Lift this back foot up. Inhale the left arm up, maybe reach around and grab. Remember, if you can't grab, it doesn't make you a bad person, it just means you can't grab the foot. I had a lot of difficulty grabbing this foot when I first started practicing yoga, but over time, through regular practice, my body started to open and it became available to me. So the key is consistency, practicing non-attachment, and just enjoying your time on the mat without placing any expectations on yourself. And then release, plant the hands, tuck the back toes, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps up. Lengthen out the waist, ground into this front heel. We'll come up high lunge. So inhale, body comes up. I'm going to shuffle back to get off that floorboard. I should have learned my lesson by now after making all these videos. Right hip comes back, left hip comes forward, back leg straight and strong, heel shooting into that back wall. Inhale the arms up, shoulders are wide, front ribs are engaged, core is engaged. Breathe here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This right hand comes down onto the back of the left thigh for a twist. So hold here for 5 breaths too. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale back up. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot steps up. Get your stable base. Front knee over front ankle. Inhale, come up, high lunge. Left hip comes back, right hip forward. Right leg straight and strong with a heel in the back wall, arms up, shoulders down. Front ribs are in, hips are neutral. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Left hand comes back on the back of the right thigh for this twist. So really scissor the thighs, engage your Mula Bandha, your root lock. That's the perineum. Gives us a lot of stability in these poses. Reach out of this right side of the waist. Believe this is around 5 breaths now. Cartwheel the hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Now right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps up. Back foot plants. So we've got heel to arch alignment. Come up into warrior 2. So front knee over front ankle. Hips are square. So not hitching up this back hip. Shoulders stacked over the waist. Arms to a T, gazing point, middle finger of front hand. The inner arch of the back foot is activated, whole of that back leg is activated. Descending to this front leg and breathe. So there's a lot going on in this pose. This really helps open the hips, this one. This isometric hold. And then flip the front palm, come into reverse warrior. So in this pose, it's easy for the front leg to become straight, so make sure it stays bent. You can look up at your palm or down at your back foot, whatever feels good for your neck. Breathe here. Then inhale, come back up, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Second side, inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left foot steps up. Heel to arch alignment. Inhale, come up. Bend into this front knee. Shoulders are stacked over the hips, hips are neutral. Warrior two, gazing point, middle finger of front hand. Look back, make sure your arms are on the same shelf. Descend into this front hip. That left glute is scooped under. Knee directly over ankle. Back leg is engaged. Inner arch engaged. Core is engaged. Breathing is steady. Jaw is relaxed, tongue is relaxed. Mind is calm. And inhale, flip the front palm. We'll come back, reverse warrior. So again, making sure that front knee stays bent. And inhale, come back up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Breathe here and take a free breath. And we'll put that together in a little sequence. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps up. Stay on the back toes, engage the core. Inhale, high lunge. One breath here. Exhale, this hand comes on the back leg, twisting, reverse high lunge. Inhale, come up. Warrior two. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Exhale, plant the hands, take a vinyasa. Come forward to plank. You can always lower knees, chest and chin. Forward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot steps up. Inhale, high lunge. Twisting high lunge. Open up to warrior two. Heel to arch alignment. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Take a vinyasa of your choice. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps up. Inhale, high lunge. This time the arms come behind. Interlace the fingers with the right thumb on top. Breathe here, just opening the shoulders. Then release and come into that twist. Sweep round to warrior two. Interlace the fingers again, right thumb on top. Palms can be apart or together. And then descend inside this front knee for humble warrior. Make sure you keep that right hip underneath. Then inhale, come up. Reverse warrior. Exhale, plant the hands. Take a vinyasa. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot steps up. Come up, high lunge. Arms come behind, this time left thumb on top. So this might be the funky side for you. Feels a bit different. Keeping those shoulder blades together, open in the chest. And then release the left hand on the back of the right thigh. Inhale up for this reverse twisting lunge. And then come into warrior two. Heel to arch alignment. Arms come behind, left thumb on top. Open the chest and descend forward for this humble warrior. Try and get the left shoulder inside the left knee. Then inhale, come up, reverse that warrior. Take a vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a free breath here. So it really exhilarates the heart when we do that bind with the chest expansion. Notice my breathing is a lot deeper now. And I'm sweating, which is not a bad thing. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps up. Inhale, come up, high lunge. Hand to the back. Reversing this twist. Inhale, back up. Open into warrior two. And then right elbow comes to the thigh. This left arm opens to the sky. So in a modified side angle pose, keeping the front knee above the front ankle. Don't dump all the weight into this right elbow. Use the core to help lift the upper body. And then we're going to fold this arm around, the top arm, and maybe hook on the inside of the thigh. So you're in a half bind here. Breathe here. Really opening the chest. You know, the higher the body is, the more open you can get it, the upper body. If it's within your practice, maybe you can take the full bind. So the bottom hand does the grabbing. Whatever version you're in, slowly unravel. We'll come into reverse warrior. And exhale, plant the hands. Take a vinyasa or go straight to dog. Whatever's good for you, your practice, your choice. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot steps up. Inhale, we'll come up, high lunge. Left hand comes behind on the back of this left leg, reaching out of the waist. Come back up, warrior two. Left arm comes to left thigh. Open this body to the side. Open the right arm to the sky. And then maybe fold this back. So it's an internal rotation of the shoulder to grab the inside of this left thigh. Breathe in here. Engage in this core so you're not dumping everything into this elbow. And then if you want to go a bit deeper, maybe you take the full bind. You don't have to do this. Then release, come out into this reverse warrior for a moment. Just releasing open this front left side body. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back, take a vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a free breath. Bring the knees down. Come into child's pose. So widen the knees as much as the mat. Sink the belly between the thighs. Hands in front. Forehead to the earth. And just breathe here and reconnect. So it's quite a heating sequence, as you've probably noticed. Getting some mobility into the hips. Energy there. Flowing in all the different directions. Opening the chest, opening the shoulders. Articulating the spine, full body mobility in all directions. And we'll work a little bit on the hips now. So come up to a brief downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg to the sky. And this right foot is going to step up on the outside of the right hand. We're going to come into lizard. So this pose was my nemesis for many years. If you've got blocks, you can place your hands on the blocks. Bring this back knee down. So if the floor is really far away from you, remember, just use these props. Our bodies are all different. We all have stories held in our bodies. And as a result of those stories, that's why all our bodies are different today. So honor where you are and be happy with where you are. Pick the position that's good for you. This foot comes out at about 1:30. Hips remain facing forward. You can stay here. You can release the back toes, or maybe you can bring elbows down to the blocks. If this is quite accessible for you, you want to go deeper, remember, you can always come down to the floor. So whatever version you're in, make sure this right elbow doesn't become weightless. There's a tendency for that to happen. Lengthen out of the waist. Although it may seem a bit impossible, try and get a little bit of a cobra in the upper back. And breathe here. So this is really getting into this bit of the hip here. Also working on the left hip flexor. And just settle and breathe. You may have many thoughts rushing around your head, like, when is this going to end? Just focus on your breath, your inhale and your exhale. Just distract the thoughts you have. We hold so much in this area that when we do these deep hip openers, it can really bring stuff up. Even if you can't really identify what's coming to mind, there's just a sort of sense of discomfort. Not just physical, but mental as well. That's what I experience anyway. And then whatever version you're in, come back up to the hands. We'll wiggle the foot across for pigeon. So the hips remain neutral. Tuck the toes and just walk the leg back. Hips are facing forward. If this cheek is really high, you can put something underneath it just to give you some stability. When the body has contact with the earth, it sends a signal that it's safe to release because it feels supported. So in the long run, this helps you open your body more. So depending on the openness of your hip, depends on the angle. In pigeon, my foot is quite near my groin, but if you're very open, it may be parallel to the front of your mat. Lengthen out of the waist and then lean forward and descend down. So you can come to the elbows, you can come to blocks, maybe your body descends all the way down. You can rest your head on your hands and just release and surrender. Try and put a little bit of weight into the left hip so that helps square the hips. It gets a little bit deeper into the right one. Long breaths. Releasing tension. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Make sure that jaw is relaxed. We hold so much tension in our jaws, we don't even realize we're doing it. And just breathe and release, settle, and melt. And then on an inhale, slowly come back up. Plant the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the back toes, lift that back knee off the floor, engage that core and see if you can lift the leg up using the core and step back to a three-legged dog. Bend this top knee and just do a few knee circles in one direction. Might feel a little bit of clicking. And then in the other, trying to keep the shoulders parallel, equal weight in both hands. And then lengthen the leg long behind and bring it back down. Side B, inhale left leg to the sky. Exhale, left foot steps outside this left hand. Descend this back knee, release the toes. The foot goes at about 10:30. Descending into these hips, lengthen out of the waist. Remember, you can always bring the floor closer to you. It's really not worth struggling in these poses if props can help you. I used to do that. I never used to use them because I thought it meant I was inadequate in some way, and it's really not the case. Everyone's body's different. You know, yoga really helps us accept who we are. And there's no better way than letting go of fear, of feeling that you're not good enough. Even when you're alone on your mat, you know, the ego tells us so many things. But just allow your body to release, accept your body for what it is and where it is on your journey to open it and open your mind. Don't be attached to any outcome. Remember, it's your practice, nobody else's. Never compare yourself to anyone else. Don't compare yourself to me. And just surrender, breathe, let go. It always helps to do a quick body scan in these poses because sometimes you find that you're holding tension where you don't need to. Make sure there's weight on that left elbow. It's a really great way to get into those hips. Just help to reverse all the tightness we get from sitting in cars and at desks, even just on the settee. We become chair-shaped. Very rarely do we sit on the floor, cross-legged. You should try it next time you're watching TV or something. You don't have to just do yoga in a yoga class. You can slot it into any part of your day. And then come back up to the hands. And we'll walk this foot across for pigeon on the second side. So it really helps to walk this right leg back, tuck in the toes, get in length, hips are facing forward, lift out of the waist. You can release the back toe and make your way down to what position is good for you. Make sure that back foot is straight and not sickling. Remember to try and keep some weight mentally in this right hip, and that helps even out the pelvis and open the left hip a little bit more. Shoulders are relaxed, maybe your forehead's on the earth. Long deep breaths. The longer the exhale, the more calm you become. We really have the power to change how we feel just with our breathing. You want to feel calmer, lengthen the exhales. You want to feel more energized and exhilarated. Lengthen your inhale. There's so much science to our breathing and how the different practices can really affect our energy levels and how we feel. Just spending some time here, being quiet, not having anything contaminate your brain from an external source. It's just so good for you. We really have information overload now. Just a few minutes of quiet can be so soothing. Slowly start to come back up. Tuck those back toes. Lift the back knee off the floor. Engage this core. Lift this leg. Come back into this three-legged dog. Bend the top knee. And then do a few knee circles in one direction. Just getting the energy moving back there after that deep opening. Do them in the other one. And then release back to downward facing dog. You can take one last vinyasa to wipe the slate clean. Or if you don't want to take a vinyasa, you can meet us just laying on your back on the floor. Look forward, bend the knees, and come forward to seated, and we'll make our way down. I always like to do a little bit of core work here, so engage the core, feet flat to the floor, lower down in slow motion. And then release. Bring the knees into the chest one by one. Give yourself a tight squeeze. Arms come out to a cactus, knees over hips, and just release the knees over to the right for a spinal twist. Head looks over the left shoulder. If you want a little bit deeper, just bring the knees up closer to the armpit. Try and keep both shoulder blades on the floor. Long breaths. Inhale, return to neutral. And then release over to the other side. Both shoulders on the floor. Maybe looking towards the right hand. Long, even breaths. Back to the midline. Give yourself one little last squeeze. Maybe lift the head up, kiss each knee. Thank your legs. Thank your body. And release out into Shavasana for final relaxation. Allow the feet to flop open. Legs totally relax. Shoulder blades tucked down the back. Palms faced upwards with the fingertips curling gently towards the heart. Eyes are closed. Chin is slightly tucked. Jaw is relaxed. Tongue is relaxed. Mind is relaxed. Feel the support of the earth and just surrender and melt. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes, coming back into the room. Maybe full body stretch, interlacing the fingers above the head. Toes in the opposite direction. Maybe a little bit of a hollow body here. And then bring the knees in one by one into the chest, Apanasana. Rock gently from side to side on the sacrum, always feels good. And when you're ready, roll over onto your favorite side, into the fetal position. Maybe using the hands like a little pillow under your cheek. Enjoying this last little moment of peace before you carry on with the rest of your day. And keeping the eyes closed, push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bring the palms face down on the knees again. This is a wonderful symbol of grounding. Anytime you feel flustered or scattered, turn your attention towards the earth and feel its support. Spine is straight, shoulders are relaxed. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Bring the palms to the chest, fingertips pressing into fingertips. Then lift them up to the third eye. your intuition. Bring them to the lips for clear communication. And back to the heart, sending out love and good energy to the whole universe. Thank you for practicing this class with me today. I hope your body feels a little bit more open, you feel more energized. It's always good to get movement in every single day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I try and upload classes every week, and please share this with anyone that you think may benefit from it. As I say, it's always good to keep moving, especially we're in lockdown, we're doing a lot of lazing around. It's really hard to get the steps in, but if you get on your mat, do a little bit of movement, it just does so much good for you. Anyway, see you soon. Take care. Thank you.